guys, and welcome to my channel. So if you are new here, thank you so much for being here. I hope that you consider subscribing to my channel. I know that I have a lot of new followers, so I'm going to introduce myself really quickly. My name is Patty, and I am Mommy and Me Crafts here on YouTube and on Instagram, and I share a lot of Happy Mail style crafts. I love to make gift boxes. Those are like my jam, guys. They are just the funnest thing for me to make. So yeah, I hope that you consider subscribing. You can follow me on Instagram. Also, I post a lot over there as well. And don't forget to like this video. So let's get right to it. So a couple of months ago, I was in a Maggie Holmes YouTube hop and I gifted my partner a tea box. And it was an actual tea box that was just altered. It was gifted to me in a swap by Tina. She's Miss Everly here on YouTube. Thank you so much, Tina, for that box. I absolutely loved it. I kept that forever. So this summer has been all about using up those things that I've received in Happy Mail, using up those paper pads that I have been hoarding, and all of the things that I have been hoarding in my craft space. I don't have a really large craft space, so I wanted to use up some of the items, or as much of the items that I could use this summer, and kind of reorganize and clean up a little. And so yeah, that's what this summer has been all about. So a few of you requested a tutorial on that tea box, and so I came up with some measurements so that we could create our own. So basically, if you want to do the tea box that I gifted, all you have to do is grab a tea box from the store and paint it, alter it, embellish it. But this right here, you can make using your favorite paper collection, and I just think it's so stinking cute. I love the size of it. It fits in the palm of your hand. It is so adorable, and so you can store some some goodies in here, and it is just so sweet. So at the end of this video, I will share with you what I have in here for the recipient. And so yeah, let's get straight to the tutorial. Let's start with the lid of our box. We are going to use a piece of paper that measures 7.5 by 4. On this 7.5 side, we are going to score this at 2 and at 5.5. We'll turn this to the 4-inch side and we will score it at 2. And this is what that looks like. I've done some prep work so you can see the stitching that I've done. This is going to be the front of my lid, the back of my lid, and then these pieces right here are going to be the corner tabs, and those are the only pieces that will be visible. That's why I went ahead and did some stitching on there. So we'll fold all of our score marks just like so. Fold those score marks, and then we are going to cut these little squares that we have made right up to that first score mark. That's going to create our tab. We'll do the same to this side, cut up right up to that first score mark, and that'll create our tab. And so this is what we have so far, just like so. So we'll adhere this piece to this tab, and then we are going to cut this little corner triangle right here. Let me move my scoreboard out of the way. So I've done this side already. That's what it looks like so far. And then I will do this side with you just so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. I've already added my double-sided tape to this little tab right here. I'm going to line it up as best I can to this edge right here. Just like that. So that is adhered. Just press down to make sure it sticks on properly. And then we are going to cut this little triangle piece just like we did on the other end. I'm just going to go from this corner right here up to this corner right here. I really need to get some better scissors. And you can just trim that up if you need to, but that's what that looks like so far, and that's going to be the lid to our box. Isn't that so cute? So you can see here that this is why I did the stitching only on this little corner right here, the front piece, this tab right here, and then the top lid. So now that is done, and we can start assembling our bottom piece. So we are going to begin assembling the bottom piece of our tea box. We are going to need a piece of paper that measures 8.5 by 9, and we are going to start scoring on the 9-inch side. So this piece right here is going to be the front of my box. The piece that is on the 9-inch side is going to be to the front of my box, and the only reason that is important is because if you are going to be making this using design paper and not like a solid colored cardstock, then you want to make sure that your design paper is facing the correct position. So what I am going to do here is begin my scoring. Like I said, this is going to be the front of my box, and this is going to be the back of my box. So I've already done stitching on these little squares, but you'll see what I mean. So right here, we're going to score at the 2, at the 4.5, and at the 6.5. Then we're going to turn this to the left. And again, this is using my scoreboard. If you have a different scoreboard, make sure that you are doing it in the way that is going to work best for the scoreboard you have. So I turned it to the left, and we're now on our 8.5-inch side, and we are going to score at 1/2, at 2.5, at 6, and at 8. And this is what we have. This is what it's looking like so far. I went ahead and did some pin marks so that you can see what we are going to be cutting out to create our tabs. So this is the 8.5-inch side, and we are going to cut off this box right here. So this is the 2-inch mark, when this is the 9.5-inch side, and so this is our 2-inch mark right here, and these are the little tabs. Make sure you are cutting on the right direction. You might want to do a little template, as I have done here, just to guide yourself and make sure that you are doing, cutting off the correct pieces. This side is a bit wider than this tab right here, and that's how you know that this tab needs to be at the top. So we are going to cut out these squares right here. So this is where we are at. We have cut off these pieces right here, these little rectangle-like pieces right here on these sides. And now we are going to create our little tabs. So I'm just going to miter this corner right here, miter on this score mark right here, and I will also miter this edge right here just a teeny weeny bit, like just a sliver. And this is what it looks like so far. And we'll do the same to this side right here. And see this score line right here? I'm just cutting a little piece, a little pizza slice off like so. And then a really teeny tiny sliver here as well. We can start scoring our lines. Being very careful if you do stitching before scoring your lines. Just be really careful when you're scoring them, because sometimes it tends to fold on the part that you stitched, and you don't want that to happen, and you don't want to rip your paper. So you do need to be very careful with that, where you stitch and where you score, or where you fold is what I mean. See how it wants to fold over here? I just need to push that down. Take your time with this part. I didn't want to burnish this before I showed you how to do it, but you can certainly fold your score marks before you do your stitching, so that it won't be so difficult for you after. And you don't, you know, the stitching is of course optional. You don't have to stitch. And so our box is starting to take shape. I'm just gonna fold all of these little tabs in, just like so. This is what it looks like so far. And so we're gonna have to cut this score mark right here. So on this side right here, I have cut these 2 tabs right down on that score mark. We're gonna do the same on this side. We'll just cut straight on that line. And we'll fold this up. And our box is starting to take shape. This tab goes in. This one that's attached to the outer part of your box is going to go over that. And these little tabs right here are what we are going to attach to our box. That's what it looks like so far. And you'll see how I've done stitching on the back, on the side panels, and on the front. Those are the parts that are going to be visible. Now, these tabs right here aren't a necessary part of this box. You can choose to glue these down just like so, so that you can, you know, use that patterned paper at the bottom of this. You can choose to cut a little tab, which is what I want to do, because if you glue this down, when you adhere this piece right here, you might have a gap that's visible. I don't know if you can see that right there. See that gap right there? I don't want that gap, so what I am going to do is just cut, like, let's say, leave a 1/2 inch, just like we did here. And you can measure it, or you can just eyeball it. I'm just gonna eyeball it. So I've cut that side off. I'm gonna do the same to this tab right here. So these will adhere to the bottom of this. We'll adhere this to this and this to the back. just like so. And that's how that will work. So before we adhere these, I want to go ahead and attach our lid to this tab right here. Done all our cutting. We're ready to adhere our lid to the bottom part of our box. You want to make sure that you're attaching this piece to your lid, because of course this is going to go just like so. If you can see here, I need to do some trimming because it doesn't fit in too well. So all I have to do is, I can actually see the score line, so I didn't cut up right on that score line, so I'm just going to use that as a guide to trim this tab right here. Just cut right on that score line. I'll do this, or actually let's see if it fits now. Now I'm gonna have to trim this side off as well. So just a little sliver. This part isn't going to be visible. Your lid will be covering this. And so now that should slide in fairly easily, and you will attach that right up to that score mark, just like so. So this part right here is going to go right in there, just like that. So I've added my double-sided tape to this. I'm making sure that I have the correct direction. I know that I want these triangles to be to the right of me. So I know that this is the top part that I need to adhere this piece to. I'm going to slide it in right up to that score mark, right up to the edge, and then just glue that down. And at this point, you can start to see how our little tea box is starting to take shape. Isn't that so adorable? So, so cute, you guys, and so easy. I am so glad that one of you requested this. So I'm going to add some tape to these tabs right here. I typically don't use double-sided tape on things like this. I like to use liquid glue, like Barely Arts glue, just because if you make a mistake, you can move it around a little easier. And then I'm going to add some glue, some double-sided tape to this piece right here, this tab right here. And to this one as well. So I'm going to fold this up just like so. Bring this in. Do the same to this side. Bring this in. I like to do it up against the desk so that it's flush, nice and clean look here at the bottom. And then I'll run my score tool on this, make sure it grabs well. And we're ready to bring this piece up. We'll just line it up as best as possible. And we'll do the same to this end. hope I'm in frame. I can't see where I'm at. It's so much easier to do this when you're not recording, so it shouldn't be so difficult for you guys. Ah, this piece moved on me. I'm trying to define this score mark right here. I'm going to pinch up at it so that it doesn't tear. You know what? Let me do that before these stick. See this score line right here? I don't want it to fold where my stitching is, so I'm going to try to make that a little more crisp. So this is what we have so far. That's so sweet, you guys. It is so teeny tiny, so cute. This is what it looks like on the inside. These edges, you want to make sure are flush. I love how this looks. I really love the size of this. So now that you have put your box together, you are ready to embellish it. You can embellish the top of it, you can embellish the sides, you can embellish all of it. I have decided just to add this little ruffle trim on here. I used this, what is it called, branding strip from the top of our paper pads, and just cut a little banner and did some stitching. Used these stickers from the Garden Party collection. I used a lot of these stickers on this project. Some little stone stickers. I love these little stone stickers. I received these in a prize pack that I got from Paulina. She is the owner of Mommy and Me Little Shop, or Little Gift Shop. I'll have her linked in the description box of this video so that you can check out her shop. So I won a challenge that Poochie was hosting. Thank you so much, Poochie and Paulina. And so in the prize pack, this was one of the goodies that I received, and so I went ahead and used them on here to embellish this. I made this little sequin pouch. I created this pouch following a tutorial by Septeria. And so I will have that video linked down below as well. And then what I packed this with, this is basically going to be a little sequin pouch kit. And so I went ahead and matted everything inside because I didn't like all that white in there, and I didn't use double-sided paper. So I recommend that you use double-sided paper from the beginning so that you don't have to go back and mat anything. But again, that is completely up to you. So let me show you all of the goodies in here. They are so sweet. It is just so cute. I went ahead and added some of this curly Q shred that I have a tutorial on how to make, and this is what the box looks like inside. Isn't that just so adorable? I really think this is the sweetest gift box. It's so cute. It measures 2 by 3.5, I believe. It's so super sweet. So what I included in this little kit are just items that the recipient can use to make these little sequin tea pouches. I made them out of vellum, and like I said, I just followed that tutorial. So I've included these 3 little glass jars. They are filled with sequins, and I just added some stickers from the sticker pad from this collection. And then in here I made this little vellum baggie. I used a little sticker to hold that tight, and I included some little what are these called? Tags. I used a die and cut out some of these tags, and then I included some of these little stone stickers, and then the little hearts that come out right here, I also included those in this pack right here. Super adorable. I love those. And then I included this little spool right here. I think it's so sweet. I just have some stickers on here, and I have some of that Hobby Lobby trim, and I used that on the pouch to hold that tag right there, so I thought I would include a little bit of that in here. This is an adorable bow that was gifted to me by V. Hi V, if you're watching, thank you so much for these bows. They're so sweet. So they were perfect for this project, so I'm going to include that in the box. And then of course I made some of these little vellum pouches and just left them on, you know, just plain, so that the recipient can use these to create her own little sequin pouches. The one that I have here in the front, of course, I cut down so that it could fit this lid properly, but these are going to be much larger. This is what it looks like. And so basically you just use a piece of vellum that measures 3.5 by 6, and then you score this to create this little bag. And as I mentioned, I will link Septeria's video down below so that you can see how she created these. And that is it, you guys. I think this is just the most adorable little gift box. Thank you guys so much for requesting this, because it got me, you know, it inspired me to actually take the time to go in and come up with some measurements to make this cutie. So thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.